everybody and welcome back to the channel. There will be spoilers in this video for Spider-Man Far From Home, so if you have not seen Far From Home yet, please go do so before continuing. In Spider-Man Far From Home, the only point where Tony Stark really appears is during a flashback sequence. However, his presence, or rather lack thereof, is felt over the entirety of Far From Home. There are murals all around the different cities that Peter Parker visits, sort of even painting Iron Man like a religious figure. At the end of Endgame, Tony Stark became the savior of half of the entire universe, and it of course makes sense that the world, and even the galaxy at large, would pay their respects to the fallen hero. At one point though, many fans actually believed that we would see Tony Stark, or rather more accurately, hear Tony Stark. This occurs when Peter Parker is gifted the Edith glasses, which as we learn stands for, even dead, I'm the hero. Glasses that gave Peter Parker access to tons of Tony Stark's technology that he knew that he would need following Tony Stark's death. In the actual Spider-Man Far From Home, the Edith program is not the voice of Tony Stark, as many people speculated it would be. And although it was a concept that was highly discussed, Robert Downey Jr. did not reprise his role as Tony Stark in the form of an AI in Far From Home. However, at one point, this was officially in the cards for the movie, according to director Jon Watts, who revealed that Robert Downey Jr. did actually have an audio cameo in Spider-Man Far From Home that they ultimately decided not to keep. This is exactly what Jon Watts had to say about this scene, and again, ultimately why he decided as a filmmaker, and as of for respect of Endgame, they decided to ultimately cut it from the movie. Quote from Jon Watts goes, "I think if anything, it was always going to be reused footage, they said. We had talked about possibly hearing Tony's voice though through Edith at some point, but I think it goes a long way, and we didn't want to lean too hard on Robert Downey Jr. and Tony Stark. He is so beloved, and we definitely talked about a lot of things, but at some point, it's about the absence of a person and about the loss of that person. If you show that person, and that person has such a presence, does it fight trying to portray the loss?" So apparently, Tony Stark may have actually appeared in more flashbacks in Spider-Man Far From Home, but what we know for a fact is that he was going to appear within the Edith program, and that Tony Stark's voice could actually be heard within Edith. But again, they ultimately cut this. Jon Watts does make it clear though that if they were going to use more footage than they did in Spider-Man Far From Home, it was going to be old footage or deleted footage. That Robert Downey Jr. didn't actually shoot or recreate anything new for Far From Home, although apparently he would have recorded lines for Far From Home in the Edith program specifically. Again, many people even speculated that within Edith, we were going to hear Tony Stark's voice as the AI, and that he was going to play a much larger role throughout the final act of the movie, specifically interacting with Peter Parker as well as Quentin Beck, and maybe even having to obey the orders of Quentin Beck. But again, this was a concept that was ultimately cut, and all we got was a little bit of flashbacks from Tony Stark, which I think was just enough. But what are your guys' thoughts on this and this deleted audio scene of Tony Stark in Spider-Man Far From Home, where he was going to make an extremely short cameo? And what do you guys think about Jon Watts' ultimate decision to cut this from the movie? As always, my friends, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to enter the Infinity War Hot Toy figure giveaway. To enter that giveaway, all you have to do is like this video, subscribe, turn on notifications, and tell me below what your favorite scene in Endgame was. As always, my friends, thank you guys so much for watching. Hit that subscribe button to assemble and join our team, and have a great day.